Until 1898, the only Atlantics in the UK were tank engines. But that all changed when Henry Ivatt took up office at the Great Northern Railway. Ivatt was granted permission to build a 442 tender engine in February 1897, and just over a year later, the first small boiler C1 number 990 emerged from Doncaster Works. Yes, C1, before you ask, they were later classified as C2s by the LNER, while the large boiler C1s from 1902 remained just C1s. The C2s, or Klondikes as they were nicknamed, were built to replace the Stirling singles, which were struggling to cope with the increasing loads on the East Coast Main Line by the late 1890s. With 60% more adhesion, the Atlantics were an improvement, albeit in theory. Footplate crews reported these early Atlantics, with a low-pressure saturated boiler and large cylinders, had to be thrashed to get the best out of them. The class were fitted with superheaters from 1909, and there was a 4-cylinder compound version for a little while as well. But with a reduction in boiler pressure, the superheating seemed to maintain their performance rather than boost it. What's more, pressure from the cylinders resulted in frame cracking as time went by, which resulted in the frames being strengthened by 2.5 inches. As early as 1935, the 22 Klondikes were considered too weak and too worn out for upgrades, so within 10 years they had all been withdrawn from service. Happily though, the prototype, number 990, which was named after a Great Northern general manager, was selected for preservation in 1937, and apart from a few working stints in the 1950s and 1970s, Henry Oakley has enjoyed a rather peaceful, easy retirement as part of the National Collection.